Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'll be showing you how to make this top that the beautiful Vicky James wore in this clip. This is my own recreation here with this mixed color fabric, and if this is something you'd like to know more about, please keep on watching and let's get started. If you are new here, please hit the subscribe button and please turn on your notification bell so you get notified anytime I upload a new video. Now let's jump right into the cutting and the sewing of this top. I have my Ankara fabric here. I have 3 yards here on the table. I didn't use the whole 3 yards, and also you'll be needing a zip. Please make sure to use an open end zip for this top. I have folded my fabric into 2 on the table. I have folded into 2 and the length I have here is about 18 inches. For the width of this fabric, how wide the fabric is, I have about 34 inches. So that is what you need to do. Just fold your fabric into 2 using this measurement, the length and the width. Now I'm going to mark a line across the fabric, and this line will serve as the shoulder line. Once I'm done marking the shoulder line, I'll go ahead and mark the length of the top without the waistband. The length of the top without the waistband, I'll be marking 17.5 inches, including 1 inch for joining allowance at the top and at the bottom. Go ahead and mark your desired length for the top and connect that into a straight line. The next measurement I'll be marking is a neck depth of 3.5 inches and a neck width of 3.5 inches, and I'll connect that with my curve. The next measurement is to go ahead and mark the shoulder measurements divided by 2. After marking the shoulder measurement divided by 2, from that point, I'll go ahead and mark the sleeve extension. Remember that there is going to be elastic on the sleeve. If your actual 3/4 sleeve is 16 inches in length, you need to add like extra 8 or 10 inches so that you can give room for elastic. For this one, from the point where I marked the shoulder measurement divided by 2, I extended it by another 25 inches. Once we are done with that, from this point, you are going to come down by 2 inches for the shoulder slope and connect it with a straight line into the neck width. The next step is to mark the sleeve opening. From the shoulder slope, go ahead and measure 10 inches for your sleeve opening. And the next step is to mark the waist measurements divided by 4. Go ahead and mark your waist measurements divided by 4, and you can now add 5 to 6 inches allowance for ease. And from the point where you mark the sleeve opening, you are going to connect it to the waistline. You can make use of your curved ruler to connect the 2 points together, or you can use your free hand like I'm doing here. Once we are done with that, the front part of the top is ready. For the back, I've gone ahead to cut out another piece of fabric. Just make sure that the same thing you cut out earlier plus allowance for zip, the same thing you cut out earlier for the front part, just make sure to add allowance for zip for this back part. I've gone ahead to mark my 1.5 inches allowance for zip on one side of this fabric, and from that point where I marked the 1.5 inches allowance for zip, I'm going to place my top on it. I'm going to place my top from that point. So leave the space for zip and place your top on it like you see me doing. And we are going to cut out exactly the same thing that we have, but the only difference is that we are going to make the neck depth for the back 2 inches. We are not going to make use of the same neck depth for the front. We are going to make use of 2 inches for the back and extend the neck depth into the zip allowance. Once we are done with that, we can now cut it out. It's the same thing for both the front and the back. The difference is just the neck depth and the zip allowance. After cutting, this is what we have for both the front and the back. You can see what we have here. The next step is to go ahead and cut out a piece of fabric, the one we are going to use to pipe the neckline. So cut out your piece of fabric on bias. You can see mine is stretchy. If you cut it out on bias, it will be stretchy. So go ahead and use that to pipe the neckline of both the front and the back. I am done piping the neckline here, and you can see what we have. I have done the same thing for the 2 back pieces. The next thing I'm going to do is to go ahead and join the shoulder together. Place the back piece on the front, right side facing each other. Go ahead and join the shoulder together. You're going to repeat the same process on this other side. After joining, this is what I have. I have gone ahead to fold in the sleeve opening. I just folded 1/2 inch twice. So fold your sleeve opening once you are done joining the shoulder, and the next thing is to go ahead and join the sides together. So flip it to the wrong side and go ahead and stitch the sides together with 1/2 inch. After joining, this is what I have. The next step is to work on the parts that we are going to put the elastic. So we are just going to stitch the elastic on the shoulder, on the joining on the shoulder. That is where we are going to fix in the elastic. The length of the elastic I have here is my actual 3/4 sleeve length, which is 16 inches. And that is what I'm just going to stitch from the neck width all the way to the end of the sleeve. So you are going to drag it as you stitch. You start from the neck point there and drag it as you stitch. You'll do the same thing on the other side. I am done fixing the elastic here, and you can see what the top is looking like. This is what your top should be looking like once you are done stitching the elastic on the shoulder. Moving on to the band for this top, I've cut out this piece of fabric that we have here on the table, and the width I have here, how wide the fabric is 33 inches. And how I came about this figure is that my round waist measurements plus 3 inches allowance for zip. And for the length of this fabric, I have 8 inches. I'll fold it into 2 like you see me doing. And first I'll mark the 1.5 inches for zip, and I'll connect into a straight line. Once I'm done with that, I'll fold it again, placing it on that line I have marked on the other side of the fabric. I am going to notch the center point and the other center point. Now from the bottom, go up by 4 inches, and from that point you are going to take it all the way to the top like you see me doing. This is what it should be looking like after connecting. Next thing I'll do is to cut out the top part, which is not needed. After cutting out, this is what it should have. This part where I'm pointing to will be fixed on the side, while the side here will be the zip allowance. So we have the side here, the center front there, and the zip allowance on this side. Bring out another piece of fabric and you're going to cut out exactly the same thing you have on this first one. One will serve as the main fabric and the other one will serve as the lining piece. I'll set the lining aside now so that we can work on the main fabric. We are going to fix the main fabric to the top. Now notch the center front of the top, because we are going to match the center front of the top to the center front of this new piece of fabric. So place the center front together like you see me doing, right side facing each other. From this point, you are going to go ahead and pin the joining you have on the side of the top to the side of this new piece of fabric. Remember that you are going to gather the excess in between each of the space you have there. After pinning, go ahead and use ½ inch to join it together. I am done joining here and you can see what we have. This is what the inside is looking like. And the next step is to go ahead and use the lining to cover the seam allowance. You are going to fix it the same way we fixed the main fabric. So just stitch it all the way around. Use it to cover the seam allowance. After stitching, this is what I have. You can see what we did here. Everything is looking nice and flat. And now the next step is to go ahead and fold the bottom part. You're going to fold the hem. You can fold it twice, ½ inch twice, or you can just go ahead and overlock and fold once. Whichever one you prefer, go ahead and do that. And once you're done, you're going to fix in the zip. I'm done fixing the zip here, and basically the top is ready at this point. You can see what we have. Let's go ahead and take it to the ironing table to press it properly, and that will be all on the cutting and the sewing of this top. Thank you guys